Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, and today's video would normally be a ranking type video because I'm going to be talking to you guys about the palettes I used throughout the month of May. But I used so many amazing palettes last month that I just couldn't rank them. With the exception of two palettes that I wasn't super thrilled with. One especially was not super thrilled with. The other one I just kind of like, I just couldn't rank them. I tried it. I hemmed and hawed. I reordered them I don't know how many times, and I thought, you don't have to rank these. No one's forcing you to do it. So I'm just going to show you guys the palettes I used throughout the month of May, pop up pictures of the looks that I created, just as an overview or a review of what I used last month. There were 15 different palette combinations that I used in May. So these aren't in any particular order. So I'm going to start off with this palette right here. This is the Be Perfect Cosmetics Carnival 3 Love Tahiti Stacy Marie palette. And I'm actually going to scoot over just a little bit because what happens is I tend to pop the pictures up and then it's like half over my face. There's a cat here. Half over my face or my head, and it looks weird. So I just thought, scoot over this time. And I used this palette to create a look for my Stranded on a Deserted Island collab with Jan and Shawnee. And what I tried to do was focus on colors that I would love to see if I were stranded on a deserted island. And I focused on the greens and then like the orangey shades. And I am telling you, this palette is so incredible. And I'm reminded of that every single time I use it. I'm just like, God, this palette is so good. So good. I love the formulation. I love the quality, the blendability of the mattes. They're super saturated in pigment. Like they're really dynamic in terms of like the mattes in here, of course, and the shimmers too. And, you know, I wouldn't say they're buildable necessarily. They just go on your lids like, yes, I'm here. I'm not messing around. Let's go. And that's what I love about this palette. And it was really fun to put together shades, the greens and the oranges, that I don't think I've ever put together before. So that was really fun. Loved it. Loved playing with this palette. The next palette is one that's newer to me, but not new out on the market. And this is the Juvia's Place Allure 2 palette. And my dear friend Janny Boo, Jan Van, I'll link her shannel in my description box, and Shawnee's. Anyone that I mention in this video that has a channel, I will link in my description box, of course. Jan gifted this to me. I'd picked up the set of these Allure palettes, oh, I don't know, a while back, and I put them in a giveaway. And I thought, you know what? I should have just gotten two sets because they were on sale, really good sale. Juvia's Place has such great sales because I've always wanted the set of these because they're just such beautiful palettes and color stories. I know this is monochromatic. I know monochromatic palettes aren't everyone's favorites, but what I love about this monochromatic palette is that the blue tones in here are different, in my opinion, than other monochromatic blue palettes I have in my collection. You know, they're more like, I don't know how to describe it, murky blue, or just there's some depth here that I don't always see in other blue monochromatic palettes. And I really like that about it, you know, and you can create such a beautiful gradient, which I love that about monochromatic palettes. It's really fun to do that. And I do think there is, you know, a right way and a wrong way to create a gradient. I don't know that I ever do it the right way, but that's my goal, is to have that just seamless gradient from dark to light, light to dark, however you want to look at it. But I'm just thrilled that Jan sent this to me. I had so much fun. I used this in a Throwback Thursday video, had a blast, and really enjoyed the formulation of the shades. Really, really nice. Now I'm going to show you a combination of two palettes. I did a collab with Nikki Lynn, and she came up with the idea to grab palettes from two different brands, Nomad Cosmetics and Beauty Bay. And, you know, whatever palette we wanted to use was fine. So what I chose was the Nomad Cosmetics Tokyo Harajuku palette along with the Beauty Bay Book of Magic palette, which I'll show you here when I'm done showing you this. Because Jan Van, she was talking about the fact that this is such a lovely companion palette, because I was kind of struggling with whether or not I wanted to keep this, because it's a beautiful palette. It's absolutely gorgeous, but pastel shades aren't always what I gravitate towards, you know what I mean? Like I like to have a little bit of depth in my looks. Not always. I mean, sometimes I like the light and airy pastel looks, sure. But this is not getting a ton of love in my collection. So Jan's like, before you declutter it, why don't you try using it as a companion palette? And I thought, Jan, that is genius. And I loved the look that I put together with this. And then the Beauty Bay Book of Magic palette. It was so fun. You know, I felt like these, let me hold this one up too. I felt like these two palettes worked really well together because you have depth in here and you have light in here too. But then using these together, it just was a great experience. And I definitely want to do that again. I think what I might do, honestly, I'm thinking about this, is doing some kind of like maybe monthly series where I use this palette in conjunction with something else to just show how well it works as a companion palette. Would that be interesting, or would you guys be like, don't do that? But love the shades that I chose for that look. Nikki's video was wonderful. The shades she pulled together from her palettes that she chose, really unique and creative idea, really fun. So now, I did film a video with the Sugar High palette from Menagerie Cosmetics that I scrapped. Shawnee and I were going to do a collab together. We did do a collab together. We ended up doing the collab just with different questions because the questions I came up with for the first go around were horrible. Now, I love the look that I put together with this palette. It was absolutely stunning. I used these 3 shimmers, and then I think I used these 3 mattes. I do have another video coming up with this palette. You know, like I said, we did carry out the collab together. Shawnee and I both came up with different questions that made a lot more sense and what were a lot more fun to answer. I don't know what the hell I was thinking with putting those questions together. They were so dumb, so dumb. So, you know, kind of a bummer that I had to scrap a video. I didn't have to, I chose to, but not the end of the world. Loving this palette, love it. Shawnee was my muse in getting this palette because, you know, look at it, it's gorgeous. The shimmers in here are so vibrant and gorgeous, and the mattes are really nice, really cool combination of shades, I think. And I'd seen Shawnee create such beautiful looks with it, and I thought, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'd never tried this brand before. So, you know, yes, love the look that I put together for the collab that was no longer, but again, the questions were so awful. Then I was gifted the Wander Beauty palette from Charlie, Peanut Butter Beauty. We've done a couple collabs together where we've talked about doing more. I hope we can do that. And just out of the kindness of her heart, she sent me several makeup products. She also sent me a little jar of like loose pigment eyeshadowy things from Nakia Joy Cosmetics, which I've got to use in a future video. They're sitting right there, so I won't forget to use them. And guess what? Keep forgetting to use them. But this palette is stunning. It really surprised me. I didn't know if I was going to love the palette. You know, I thought I'd like it, create a really pretty look, but I was really impressed with how the mattes and the shimmers out of this palette performed that I chose for my look. And I pulled this into a Throwback Thursday as well. And this shimmer right here was absolutely beautiful. It's that olivey green gold. I use this satin shade too. Beautiful. I mean, it, you know, maybe doesn't look super exciting in the pan, but these two together, beautiful. And then the mattes that I pulled into that look, lovely. You know, it's so fun when you get a palette that you may, you know, you're like, I don't know, maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't be. I don't know what to think. It's beautiful, but and to love it and to have the look turn out so beautiful, I had such a great time with that. Now, of course, I have to show you my sister's palette. The Mad Witch Cosmetics Chance palette. My sister and best friend, Not Your Basic Stuff. This is her brand. This is her first palette. I did 3 looks in total with this in the month of May. I'm going to continue to use this palette, of course. I might do another, I think I will do another multiple looks video with this. Now, I've heard some kind of negativity about this palette because the person that used it doesn't like neutrals. And that really strikes me as yucky, because just because you don't like neutrals doesn't mean the palette is a bad palette. This is a beautiful palette. The mattes are so lovely, neutral or not, I don't care. And I love neutrals, so I was fine with that. They're blendable, they're pigmented, they work well together. The shimmers in here though, I'm telling you, they're gonna blow your mind if you get this palette. We have these two here that are kind of more of that flaky, smushy texture, but just so beautiful and dynamic and flippy. This is my favorite shade in this palette. So gorgeous. It's called The Time Is Now, and it's got that like coral orange, hot orange, gold, red. So beautiful. You know, the thing about it is I film on my phone, and the pictures that I took of the look, and even in the video, just, it does not do this shade justice. It is so beautiful. This shade is very deceiving because it looks white and it's got beautiful like pink And I think it even had some green reflect in it too, right? I want to say when I used it in my inner corners for a look. And then this shade too is just stunning. So's this. And so is that. That is very deceiving too, because it looks like, oh, you know, black with maybe some gold in it, or dark brown with maybe some gold in it. But on the lid, I mean, this is a one and done shade, I'm telling you. And I'm just so proud of Steph and so happy for her that she's pursuing her dream in starting her own makeup brand. It is awesome. And, you know, whether you're a neutral fan or not, it doesn't mean a palette is bad just because your preference is not the neutrals in here. Not true at all. This is so beautiful, so much fun, so excited for her next palette release, and I will definitely be using this again on my channel for sure. So fun. Then I grabbed the BH Cosmetics Sweet Shop Cotton Candy palette for a Throwback Thursday, and was super impressed with how things performed in here, because I've had this for a while. I got this at Marshall's, and it just kind of sits over there, doesn't get a whole lot of love, but thrilled with the way the look turned out. Now, I was kind of on the fence at first about it because I used this shade in my outer corners to deepen things up, and this isn't really a depth shade. It was more kind of like brightened up my outer V, and I thought, oh God, is that gonna look good? I don't know, but I really liked it. I used these 4 shades and then this shade. You know, pinks, I love pinks. Well, I didn't used to love pinks. I'm getting to love pinks a lot more. So that's not always where I gravitate towards in a palette, is the pink shades. But these, they were stunning. Really enjoyed playing with this. See what I mean? See why it was hard for me to rank these? Because all of these palettes I've shown you so far, I love them all. Now I'm going to show you a palette that I'm not in love with. I'm actually gifting this to a friend, my dear friend Marina, Make by Marina. Link her channel too. She said she wanted this palette, which is great because she'll know exactly what to do with it. The front is really cool. It's holographic and, you know, changes. It's kind of fun. I mean, pretty fun. But this palette just does not perform well for me. I don't like it. I really do not like this palette. I've tried to like it. I just can't like it. I don't like it. You know, I've only used it twice. Maybe I should use it 3 or 4 or 10, 20 times. I don't know. But I just know this is a palette that I don't get along with. Some of the shades in here perform really bizarrely, in my opinion. This silver shimmer, it's almost like this, it's just a bizarre formula. And for Glamlight, I was just blown away because I love my other Glamlight palettes I have in my collection. Absolutely love. Some more than others, but still love all of them. This one I do not love. So I'm excited for Marina to get this palette. I think she's going to create magic with it. I did a collab with Tracy, Lilith Luna. She loves this palette. I hate the palette, so we did kind of like a love-hate Q&A type collab together. It was really fun, and her look was gorgeous. She loves the palette. She creates beautiful looks with it. I don't know what my problem is. I just, Then I did a collab with Kay, Makeup Lens, and we used the Queen palette from Eloise Cosmetics for our looks. Now, we chose 3 shades for each other to use in the look that we had to use, and then you could add in whatever shades you wanted to. And she threw me for a huge loop. Let's see, she chose Ronnie, Elizabeth, and Sovereign, I think, right? That was tough. That was tough for me. You know, beautiful shades, but just kind of tough for me to put a look together with them. I did throw in Majesty, hi, where's my brain? Majesty and Queen for the look as well. And did I use Regal too, I think, right? This shade was kind of patchy, just not as pigmented or blendable as I was hoping it would be. This is an older palette in my collection. I've had it for a while, and I just don't really ever use it. I've thought about decluttering it. I may declutter it. I mean, I enjoyed the look. I really enjoyed Kay's look, and I did enjoy the look that I put together, but just not one of my favorites for the month of May. No. Strange color combo. She's like, I'll do that. I will use those 3 shades in a look to kind of like cushion the blow. And I'm like, you don't have to do that. It's okay. I mean, it's just for fun. It's not that serious, but it was just a little bit of a struggle for me to put a look together with the shades that she chose for me. Then I did a 2 looks video with the Murky Waters palette from Ladybug Glow. Oh, this palette is so fun. And basically what I did is I put some mattes across the lid, and then I topped the mattes with one of the shimmers. And, you know, that might have been boring for some folks. I get it. But I just wanted the shimmers that I chose to be the star of the show. You know what I mean? And just to kind of show you that you don't have to put a bunch of shades on your eyelids to have a beautiful, effective look. You can just put a couple, 2 or 3, especially if these shimmers are so incredible. This is my favorite brand, and really enjoyed putting both looks together with it, absolutely. And then I also used the Ladybug Glow Everyday Sparkle palette last month. Did 2 looks with this as well. The first look was similar to the looks I did with this palette, where I just put a matte across the lid and then put a shimmer over the top, but I loved it. And then I did another look where I used a couple shimmers. The only shimmer I didn't use in that video was this one called Patina, which I kind of regret because I didn't show you how amazingly beautiful this is on the eyelids. I mean, you can obviously see it in the palette, and it shifts from green to like kind of like a magenta. So cool. They're all super flippy. And again, you know, we have some neutrals down here. I know, I don't know what it is about people that love to just trash on neutral shades, because they are beautiful. I think some people just don't really know how to work with them, and I get it, but doesn't mean they're bad. Anyway, I got really kind of sucked into that too. Like, I have to, well, I know they're boring, but no, they're not. They're beautiful. This is a beautiful palette. Neutral or not, it's beautiful. Anyway, get off my soapbox. But it was really fun to use it, and I'm going to continue to put 2 looks videos together with my Ladybug Glow palettes. That's coming next week. I kind of got off a weird film schedule this week. Kind of got off my game. So I'll be using the Mysteriosa quad from Ladybug Glow next month, or next week. Okay, then I grabbed the ColourPop High Tide palette, pulled this into a Throwback Thursday. This palette is so beautiful. It's monochromatic, but again, you can create such a beautiful gradient. Love the look that I put together. This is a lovely formulated ColourPop palette. I know I've mentioned so many times that sometimes they can be a little weird, but this one's not weird at all. It's beautiful. Love the shimmers, love the mattes. Oakley sent this to me for our makeup swap collab a while back. So this is an older palette, still works really well. Now we have the VE Cosmetics Kitchen Witch palette. Now, I'd never tried this brand before, and my dear friend Lena, she frequently creates beautiful looks with VE Cosmetics palettes on Instagram. And Steph loves this brand. You know, I've seen a lot of people that I enjoy watching using VE Cosmetics palettes and other products. And I thought, okay, I got to get myself something from this brand. I got this, some lippies that are amazing. Oh, they're so amazing. And what else? Is that it? I think so. I had so much fun with this palette. It was just beautiful. I used the browns and oranges on my upper lids, and then I used the green, couple green shades on my lower lash line. So fun. I think this is a really unique color story. I mean, it's a smaller palette, 9 pans, but still really unique, and you can do a lot of different things with this palette. I think what kind of threw me though, I didn't realize this when I first initially ordered the palette, is there's only 3 shimmers. The rest of these are mattes. I would have preferred maybe 1 more shimmer, but they didn't ask. And I'm very impressed with how this palette works, and I love the look that I created and can't wait to keep playing with this. Now for the last little go around here, last little palette choice or look that whatever. I grabbed a couple different palettes and then used a Lethal Singles Build Your Own palette that I put together, or Lethal Build Your Own palette with shimmer shades. That's what I was trying to say. So starting off, I did 2 looks with this combo here. So the first look, what I did was I grabbed some mattes from the Sydney Grace Mel's Memory Bundle. Now, I was cleaning things up in here, and I picked this up in like a stack of palettes, and this was on the bottom, and it fell, and this shade fell out, and it broke right there. Broke my heart. Not bad, just a little bit. And it's not the eyeshadow's fault. I was not paying attention and dropped this, and it broke. But my dear friend Michelle sent this to me, and this is one of the most special eyeshadow bundles I have in my collection. I love Mel Thompson. I will always love her. She was one of my favorite creators, and just to have this in my collection means the world to me. And it's very, it's just lovely that Michelle thought enough of me to send this to me. You know, it's just really special to me. So the shades that I used for the first look with the Lethal palette, which I will show you here in just a moment, I used this shade, and this shade. Is that it? I think so. And just blends like a dream. You know, all these shades blend like a dream. Really lovely pigmentation. Maybe a little bit more on the buildable side, I guess. I don't know. Are they? But I'm telling you, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And then out of the Lethal palette, the BYOP full of shimmers here, there's 6 shades, I used these two shades together. I cannot remember what they're called now to save my life. I have them written down downstairs. That's helpful. But I wasn't real sure if they would work well together because I'd never really put these colors together really before. Well, kind of, but not really. Maybe one other time. And I'm telling you, the look was gorgeous. Truthfully, just gorgeous. Lethal Cosmetics makes the most incredible shimmer formula. Mind-blowing. And matte formula. But their shimmers to me are like, huh, top-notch, beautiful. So that was really fun to put that look together. And then for the second look for that video, I grabbed mattes out of the Certified, the Tropical Wonders palette. I used Starling, Hibiscus, I think, and Firefish, I want to say. Is that right? I think so. And lovely. I love this palette. I've used this several times on my channel. I'll continue to use it because it's just such a great, great all matte palette with all the colors. And then out of the Lethal BYOP, I used, if I can open it, I used these two shades together. And I think I popped a little bit of that in there too. And, you know, purple and yellow aren't shades I really ever put together. And I was a little nervous. I'm like, what if it, and there's a little bit of like orangey pink in this one too. But I just loved it. It was so fun. It was so fun to do something different and have it turn out so well. You know, that's always fun. When you do something different and it doesn't turn out so well, it's like, great. But I really enjoyed the looks, both looks that I put together with all the combo I just showed you. So can you understand now why I wasn't able to rank my palettes for the month of May? Because I use so many beautiful palettes. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You know, and ranking is just for fun. I mean, I don't take it super seriously, but you know, I want to rank things the way I think they should be ranked. And I just had too many beautiful products or palettes, I mean, that I used. So no way, couldn't rank them. Next month, hopefully, I'll be able to rank them again for you. Let me know if you guys have any of these palettes, what you think of them. Maybe give me some suggestions as to how you would have ranked these palettes if you had the gumption to do that. I just didn't have the gumption. My gumption was gone. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.